Hello, this is Agork. Welcome back. This is Stranded Deep, episode 11, a tutorial on how to survive and even thrive in Stranded Deep. In our last episode, we raided a large island and gathered a lot of resources. We made planks out of all of the trees on the island. We gathered some sticks, not a lot, but some. We got a whole bunch of fibrous leaves. And in these crates over here, I have all of the palm bunches and coconuts that we gathered. So we have lots of those. And before we get into this episode, I'm just going to harvest my plants here. Put the potatoes into our boiler. We can get that going in a second. Juga, kura fruit, kawawa fruit. Now we have lots of fruit and juga plants and things over here that we can turn into consumables, and we'll do that a little bit later. I'm just going to get this fire going, and what we'll do in this episode is start on building. Now, my philosophy on building is maybe a little bit different than what most people have in this game. Now, I look at this game primarily as a survival game. And the things that we've built up until now, the water stills, the shelter, the fires, the cooking facilities, the fuel still, the leather rack, and the loom, and the plants. These are basically all items that make your survival easier. They improve your ability to survive. Maybe not so much the furnace, other than you can make a clay water pot, which I guess helps. However, building. What about building? How does that help your survival? Well, it doesn't. Structures in this game, I think, are basically here just to make the game more interesting and to prolong one's interest in the game, prolong the gameplay, and so people who like to get creative can build some cool stuff. And that's fine. And that's something that I do as well. I just don't prioritize building a house over getting all of this stuff over here. So that makes me maybe a little bit different. I see so many people, they'll start building a house like right from day one or something. Is like, you don't really need to. As long as you know how to use the aloe cell, even if you spawned in during the summer months, you don't need to have a house. It's a novelty thing. It's just there to keep you amused. That said, I like building. I am creative. I like to see what I can do with an island. Now, I mentioned on the last episode that I was thinking of building a house in this cave over here. Now, I decided against it because it's out of the way. If I built something in here, you'd have no view at all from either direction. And it's problematic building in here because the ground dips down into the center here. And as you know, floors are flat. So I would either have to put the floor up at quite a bit of a height in order to make it usable, and then it would have a really low ceiling. Or I'd have to build the floor down here, and yeah, there would be sand sticking up, and it would just be weird. So I decided against that. And what I've actually considered doing is, because I built this island, I might go into the in-game island editor and flatten this out under here, or flatten this area a little bit and make it a little bit more conducive to building. And then maybe I could re-look at building something in there. But that's a whole other episode. So for now, what I've decided to do is I want to build a wharf or pier for my boat. Now, you can build one out into the water, but I like to build them kind of just flat along the shoreline so that you can kind of just bump right into it when you come to shore, and then you can just jump off the front of your raft and you're on shore. So I think what I'm going to do is build a pier or wharf right along the waterfront here. Now, I know that there is high tide and low tide. I'm not sure what it is right now, if that's high or low. I think it's relatively high. I'm not even sure. So yeah, anyways, I want to build one along here. But what I also want to do is build a house, and I thought I would build it on the rocks up here above the bay, so that we had maybe the wharf coming along the front here, and then angle it this way along the front of the rocks, and then up, and then build right up in here, up one level, so that we have a patio maybe around the house. And if we stand up here in the front of the house here, we'd be looking right out over the bay here with our boats and our storage shed. And then if we look out the other side of the house, or the end of the house, I guess, if you call it that, we'd be looking out over our base area. I think that would be really nice. So I think that's what I'm going to do. Now, I don't have enough planks. I know it looks like a lot, but I don't think there's enough here to actually build all of that. So what I'm going to start with is the pier. And I'm just going to pick up a bunch of these and watch our lantern fall to the earth. All right, so I still have a pippy in my hand. Let me get rid of that. And I don't even really need the knife or the axe while I'm doing this, so I'll drop those. Okay, so because I want to do this one at a bit of an angle, I'm going to use the plank wedge foundation because that allows me to build at an angle that isn't 90 degrees. Of course, with a regular square foundation, you can only build off of each edge of the square, which everything will be 90 degrees from each other. So this allows you to do a bit of a different angle, which is exactly what I want here. We just have to try and line this up and try it right about there. Now with this, you can rotate this to have the planks run that way or that way, and I'm just going to go with them so that I walk across the planks. I think that's typically how most wharfs are built, but you can do it whichever way you like. And I think what I'll do with the rest of these, I'm not going to hammer them to completion all the way through. I'll just hammer them, I think it's 8 times until it looks filled in, but it's not quite completed. And that's just to save time. Yeah, I like that. What? There are some tiny little fish that will sometimes prevent you from building along the water's edge. I don't see any though, so probably the raft. Yep, that's what it was. It limits you in building close to another structure or something like the raft, so you have to move things out of the way or make sure you're far enough away. Let's go all the way over here, I guess. Should I build right into the rocks? I might as well, eh? Need more planks. Okay, so we can still walk on and off this, barely. That was close. I like to build it so that the edge of the plank kind of melds into the beach, like right over here. It makes it really easy to just walk on and off. If you build it too high off of the sand, your player can get stuck. But here I'm able to walk on and off, so that's great. Just barely, but I can. All right, so that looks pretty good. What am I going to do here? I think what I'm going to do here, grab a couple of sticks. And let's take this lantern. Now I'm going to go to the walls here, and I'm going to build a half wall out of wood. Put that on the end. And then I'm going to build a hook. A hook takes 2 sticks, and you just have to move it onto where you want to place it, and it'll turn white where you can place it. So I want it sitting up fairly high, and then I want to take my lantern and hook it on there. So that'll give me a beacon when I pull into the harbor, so I can see where that is, and I'll probably put one on this end too. I'll just have to figure out how this is going to go. Let me see, plank foundation. So yeah, so this plank foundation will go over here, and then I'll have a stairway going up into a house. I'm just going to add another one here. One more. There we go. All right, so what have I got going here? All right, so let's go over here. So bear with me on this. There is a method to my madness, or bear bull with me. Okay, bad joke, sorry. I want this to look like a real pier, so I'm gonna put some stuff on it. Barrels, I've got a tire over here. I can build a fishing trap and put that on there, and we'll make it look nice and homey. Or make it look industrial or something, I don't know. Make it look like a fishing pier. You can hear the fuel still bubbling away in the background. Alright, so what do we need for a fish trap? 6 sticks, 2 rocks, 2 lashings. Voila. Alright, so there's our industrial pier. That looks pretty good. Let's build one more. Don't have planks. Okay. Okay, time. It's getting late in the afternoon. I don't want to build during the night, so what I think I'm going to do is try and plan this so that I only build during the daytime, just to make this a little bit easier. Let me just drop that. That's pretty cool. I like that. I think what I'll do now is I'm going to go over to our previous island from episode 2 where I got poisoned, or where I kind of built a bit of a base before I moved to this island. And I might go harvest a bunch of trees there so I have more planks. Because I don't want to run out while I'm halfway through building a house. Okay, one more thing I wanted to do was to use the label maker. And as one of my viewers, Henny, had suggested, you can go in and change this so that it no longer says plank foundation. So if you left click on this with the label maker, the name comes up and you can type in whatever you like in the text box. But to remove the name completely, if we just delete it and click OK, nothing happens. What you have to do is actually input something in that text box. So if we insert or input a space bar, it then makes the name disappear. And we can do that to every one of these. Now I'll do that off camera. Another thing I wanted to do is to see if I can find a crab, and I think there might be some over along the cliff here. We can name the crabs as well. So I'll just call this guy Krusty. I don't know, Chomper. And I don't know, Charlie or something. Alright, so we've named some crabs. So every time we see them now, they should come up with their proper names. And you can't do that to fish. I have tried to do it with a sardine and it doesn't seem to do anything. Nope. Can't do it for sardines. And as Henny had also suggested, we can remove the gyrocopter name from the gyrocopter. And that will help a little bit when we're flying around, that the name doesn't keep popping up on the screen. Now I'm going to take it for a quick spin here just to see how it looks. Yeah, and it still comes up with the hold E to stop engine, but at least it doesn't say gyrocopter. So that's actually really good. Oh, that helped a lot when you look up. Alright, so that really helped. That was a good idea. Alright, so during the night I'm going to head over to another island and try and collect myself some more tree trunks and make some planks and whatnot, and I will be back. Okay, so I'm on the other island, and I've basically been chopping down all of the trees on the island. I've left a couple of the small one-section trees just because I don't need all of them, I don't think. So one of my viewers, Joshua Jonah, who has made a suggestion before, he made a new comment that if you drag a tree over to your plank station, you can actually still make planks out of it without having to chop off the palm bunch. So once you use up the entire trunk, you'll be left over with just the palm bunch. So you don't have to use up the durability on your axe to do that. And this is true, you can do that. There is a problem with it though. When you do that, I can't pick up the palm bunch. So that's problematic in wanting to transfer it to another island. Now apparently, and I didn't know this, if you save, exit the game, and come back in, the palm bunch should have converted back to the normal form for a palm bunch, which then says hold down E to pick it up. And if that's the case, and I haven't tested this, so I'll have to trust him on this, then that's great. All you need to do if you have your sleeping bag with you, sleep or save, come back in, and hopefully you'll be able to pick up the palm bunches that you've done. So that was a great tip. Thank you, Joshua Jonah, for that. And yeah, we're going to head back to the island now. All right, so I'm back. I've got a bunch more sticks. I got some more planks. Didn't actually get as many as I thought I would, but that's all right. So what we're going to do now is look at building and how we're going to do this exactly. So I have my hammer, and I'm going to start by building some stairs. I want them to go up from here. Well, that might have been a little bit too... Is that going to be a good spot or not? I don't know. Well, we'll see. Complete those. All right, so then to build a floor section, we go to the floors and plank floor, and we'll put that in. Keep the grain in the same direction. All right, so basically what I want to do is build the floor first, and I'll need, I don't know, I'm thinking 2 by 3 or something. Plus I want to put a patio all the way around it, at least on the front and facing the base. So I'm going to build a few sections here and see what we do with this. Now, when you're building a floor, you have to start your floor above a plank foundation or any sort of foundation, really. So the very first flooring piece that you put up has to be above a foundation. But once you've done that, you can build off in any direction, even if there's no foundation underneath it. So that's kind of a cool thing. You can have your floor kind of hovering in the middle of nowhere if you really want to. I don't know if I got too close to that bird snare over there. So I'm just going to leave that one blank for now, and I'll just build these other ones. And again, Q and E to rotate. Yeah, see, I should have maybe moved the stairs back one. Doesn't really matter. We'll just build this way. Now, when you're building, there's really no difference what material you make it out of. There's no advantage having one over another. Whether you build it out of planks or wood or corrugated or clay, it's just a matter of what you have resources to build, or if you really want to get into, what looks nicest and whatnot, you can do that too. All right, so if this is our house, trying to figure out how I should do this. I could make the patio go this way. I think I'm going to go one more over here. Now, I don't need a big house because I'm not even really sure what I'm going to do with it. It's basically just to put a few things in and to make it look nice. So it's not necessary to go crazy with size and everything. And I have quite a few hammers, so grab some more planks while I'm here, I guess. Okay, so if this is our patio at the front and along the side, that leaves us with a, 2x3 section for our actual house. So that's all right. How many? See, I'm basically almost out of planks already. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So if I do it with half walls, I can get about 10. I'm going to need 6, 7, 8. That should be enough. Now, I'm going to build this all out of planks just to keep it consistent. You can mix and match materials, do whatever you like. I'm not really sure what to do with this. So I need a doorway. It's a nice view. All right, well, let's just do something here. I need to do stairs down there or something. All right, doesn't really matter. Let's just start at the back here. So let's go with, I'm going to use half walls because they use only one plank. So that makes my resources not disappear too rapidly. Thank you. You know, and we're in a nice tropical destination, so, you know, having open air is nice. There's no point in using full-size walls, in my opinion, at least. Why block the view when you don't need to? Now here, I might do a stairway right there. Or I might be in the middle would be better, actually. Regardless, we're going to put a wall here. Hello? Why can't I put a wall there? Oh, there. I think I'll put the doorways in the middle. I think I'll just keep it consistent. I'll do doorways in the middle. If that made any sense at all, I don't think it does actually on a 2x3. Because now I've got a doorway there. Ah, well, that's fine. Let's just do a doorway here too. Ooh, see, that's a full wall. I don't want a full wall. All right, so the sun is going down and you're not going to be able to see what I'm doing. So I'm going to wait until morning and I'll continue it from there. All right, it's morning now. So I've gone around and hammered all of the floor sections and wall sections and arches until they were completed. And so we have our basic house structure completed now. So what I'll do next is add a roof, and then we can kind of try to figure out what to do about stairs and different entrances to the house. Now with the roofing, if you look in the crafting menu under building and the roofing section, you can see that there's not as many choices here. You can only build using either sticks or clay. Now clay is a very expensive resource, so I hardly ever use it for building. And for roofing, I actually almost always use sticks simply because it looks like a thatched roof, which is what you typically will see in the tropics. And I like that, so I like using sticks for the roofs. So when you place the piece, you need to wait until it turns white, rotate it. So once it looks in the right position, it's good. and then you hammer on it. There is no hitbox or no health circle on this one. So I usually do all the end pieces first. It's a little bit easier to keep track of what else you need to put on there. When you have a 2-section wide building, the end pieces will match up nicely there. And if you have a section with 3, like we have here along the side, you need to put in a flat 1-piece section to fill it in. And same thing if it's only 2 wide, then the sections will meet in the middle nicely and no problem. If you go 3 wide, then you have to put a center cap in, which is another piece you can find in the crafting menu. So this is our basic house. It's not fancy, but it will do the job. And what I normally like to do with a house is put a lantern on it. So I'm going to build a hook, put that on the front of the house, and then I'm going to hang my lantern there. Now I love lanterns. I put lanterns everywhere. So if I find a lantern in a wreck, I'm a happy camper. I just put them everywhere. Now another thing that I could put in is a fire torch. Now I have tried to build a fire torch already in this game, but they're glitched in this version of the game, so I can't get the darn things lit. Really unfortunate, because they give a really nice cozy lighting, nice yellow, orangey, fiery glow. So what I think I'm going to do here at the end is add another section, and then I'll have stairs coming off of here somehow. I actually think I've messed up this entire build. I've been building my floors with flooring, duh. But I think what I should have been doing is using foundations. And the problem with this is that to build stairs here, I don't think you can build stairs from a floor down to the ground. It has to be from a foundation down to the ground, or from a floor down to a foundation. So that could be problematic. I'm sure I can find a work around it, but yeah, I don't know what I was thinking there. I may have to look underneath here, figure out a way to get these foundations to go up that way, all the way up to the end here, and then, oops, I'm stuck under here. Okay, I gotta crouch, and then out this way, and then I can maybe build a stairway from the foundation up to the second floor. That should work, but for now it's just a hovering house. And I was gonna just test it with the foundation, but I don't have the resources, so we'll just skip that for now. But yeah, we have a nice hovering house. It looks nice. I may actually need to get a few more resources in order to do that if I want to keep it consistent all in planks, but we'll see how it goes in the next episode. So yeah, I have to crouch down right there to get under the house. Oh well. Alright, so I think that's it for this episode. We built ourselves a pier or wharf, decorated it a little, and we built ourselves a house. I hope you enjoyed the episode. Leave a like or a comment below. And thank you so much for watching. We'll see you again next time. Bye for now.